title, The Compass of Ashes. The rain had not stopped for 3 days, and with each passing hour, the city of Calcutta seemed to sink deeper into the past. The lights flickered more often, and the streets whispered with stories, old, forgotten ones, just below the surface. Dr. Elias Wren sat hunched over a cracked leather journal inside a dim cafe near the Hooghly River. His reputation as a brilliant but volatile archaeologist had preceded him for years, ever since the Peru incident, and now he was half buried in debt, sipping tea that tasted of rust, clinging to the last threads of his purpose. Across from him, a gaunt man with thin lips and eyes like broken glass placed a tattered parcel on the table. "I believe you know what this is," the man said softly, his voice drowned halfway by the storm outside. Elias hesitated, then untied the string. Inside was a fragment of an old map, but it wasn't drawn on paper or hide. It was bark, scorched at the edges, etched with delicate lines, symbols in an unknown language, and a compass in the corner. But the compass needle didn't point north. It spun slowly, clockwise, before settling toward a direction not aligned with any cardinal point. "This is a joke," Elias muttered, pushing it aside. But the man didn't flinch. "You of all people should know it's real. You've been looking for the Valley of Whispering Ashes since your father disappeared." Elias's fingers tensed. He hadn't heard the name in years, not since the final, desperate expedition his father had led into the highlands of Bhutan. No bodies were found, just a single radio transmission. "It's not a valley. It's a wound." The man slid a photograph across the table next. It was a black and white image of a crude stone door, buried halfway in snow and ash, with the same compass symbol carved into the arch above it. "Where did you get this?" The man stood up. "Ask fewer questions. The map leads there, and the compass will show you how. You have 9 days. 1 inch 9 days until what?" But the man was already gone. Elias didn't sleep that night. He spent the hours studying the bark map, cross-referencing old Himalayan trade routes, translating what he could of the cryptic script. What haunted him most, though, was not the image of the doorway, nor the spinning compass, but a phrase scrawled in ancient Sanskrit across the center of the bark. The dead remember the past. He needed help. Someone who could navigate terrain, survive the wilderness, and maybe shoot when needed. He made 2 calls. One to Asha Roy, a survivalist and ex-Special Forces tracker who once led a team through the snow deserts of Ladakh and came back with only 1 boot and half her team. The other to Marcus Vale, his old university friend turned treasure hunter who specialized in acquiring things no museum wanted to admit they lost. By the next evening, they were all at the edge of Bhutan, in a remote village where time moved like molasses. "This is suicide," Marcus said, eyeing the spinning compass as they huddled near a fire inside a yak herder's home. "No map, no coordinates, no food drop, and no plan. That's how all your best adventures begin," Asha smirked. "Besides, if that really is the wound, there's more than just gold in there. There's death," Elias whispered, staring at the bark again. The symbol seemed to shimmer in the firelight, and far off in the night, something howled. But no wolves lived at that altitude. They began the ascent the next morning. At first, the journey was eerily quiet. No birds, no wind, just the crunch of their boots and the click of the compass needle, twitching toward the northwest. By day 4, they reached the Black Plateau, a vast shelf of land covered in volcanic glass and ash. Locals called it Astrocoda, the place that speaks. They pitched a tent near the ridge. As night fell, they heard whispers, soft at first, like wind over broken reeds. Then voices. Elias awoke gasping. He had dreamed of his father, standing in a chamber of fire, skin charred, holding a second compass that bled from its edges. 2, Inch, I saw something, he said to the others, voice cracking. We all did, Asha replied quietly. She was sharpening her knife, eyes scanning the dark. That night, Marcus wandered outside the tent and didn't return. Morning arrived like a bruised eye, red, swollen, and hard to look at. Asha was the first to step out of the tent. The wind had shifted overnight, and a strange, sulphurous smell hung in the air. Black snowflakes, like soot, drifted gently from the sky. There was no sign of Marcus, no footprints, no torn fabric, just his thermos, half buried in ash, still warm. He wouldn't leave us like that, Elias said. Not without his pack. Or the compass. Asha crouched, tracing the ash with her gloved fingers. Something dragged him. Or lured him. Lured? Elias asked. She pointed toward the nearest ridge. Carved into the glassy rock was a line of symbols. Not etched, but melted, as if someone had burned language into stone. Elias translated slowly. He walked into the mouth of silence. They broke camp and followed the compass. The terrain grew more chaotic with every mile. On the seventh day, they reached what Elias only read about in half-banned manuscripts. The womb, a chasm that looked like the mountain had been torn apart by a clawed god. At the center, a circular door lay half buried under dust and bone. Elias fell to his knees. It's real. The compass needle jerked. It pointed down. The door hissed open. Inside, the walls shimmered. The air pulsed. They found Marcus, alive but chained. Eyes gray. A spiral carved into his chest. The wound is awake, he said before collapsing. 3 deeper inside, murals turned to warning. The compass led them to a second door sealed with black crystal. Above it, only the lost may enter. Elias stepped forward. The compass cracked. The door opened. The air grew heavy. The walls became veined and pulsing. At the chamber center, a pit, statues holding broken compasses, and beneath the glass, a person, preserved in amber. Elias whispered, Father? The figure's eyes moved. A voice, not in sound, but thought. One must remain. Then reality folded. They stood in a starfield, surrounded by towering horned figures. A wound floated in the dark, pulsing. You dig. You forget. We came before. We burned. We gave you silence. Back in the chamber, the pit opened wider. It demanded a keeper. Elias understood. He turned to his friends. Tell them it wasn't gold we were chasing. It was silence. He stepped in. The pit closed. Years passed. Asha kept a compass that arrived mysteriously in the mail. Alongside it, a note. I'm still here. It's not time yet. When the stars shift, follow this. Far in the mountains of Nepal, a boy found a door in the snow. The needle began to move. For the end. Subscribe PasipHae and take care. 5.